Hello, welcome to another video on the Scouring or Early Access. Today's match is going to be another replay cast from Hangman's game that he had against Hollow. And so, of course, this is also a ranked match on the Classic Plus mode that Vopley is currently working on. And over here, Hangman spawned as the purple human player. And this time, I guess, he is making a barracks with 3 workers. So a few more. And he sends the rest of his workers to get some gold, because on these maps, with the gold being very far away, you're kind of forced to send them to get some gold very early on. And across the map, the cyan player, or teal player, Hollow, is also playing humans. Interestingly, he also built his barracks with 3 workers. But I guess he did make his farm a little later compared to Hangman. But he does somehow have an extra swordsman, or I guess that's his beginning swordsman that everyone gets at the beginning of a match. But I guess he kept him at home, while Hangman did send him out to scout his enemy. And I guess players are making quite a good amount of swordsmen at the beginning. I guess to have some kind of front line instead of having all the archers, because I think also in Classic Plus, I forgot to mention that swordsmen and orcs have 20 more health than the normal classic mode. So instead of in classic, where swordsmen have roughly double the amount of health of archers, or 140 health, so roughly half of 60. But in this mode, swordsmen have 160 health compared to archers who only have 60 health. So it's almost roughly 3 times the health. So you're quite more tanky here, you could say. You're going to be quite more survivable on the front lines. But of course, archers do take up less supply on a human faction, so you are more incentivized to have a bigger archer army. Now, I guess another thing about the Classic Plus mode is that creeps now a bit different stats. So wolves, we now have about 40 more health compared to normal classic, so there's a few more hits that your swordsman can take. It's going to allow your units to evolve a little more. But especially for trolls, those big fat green ogres, instead of having 600 health like in normal classic, in Classic Plus they have 1000 health, so almost double. So you get quite a huge amount of XP by killing them. But of course, even goblin archers, they have 20 more health here compared to only having 60 like in normal classic. But over here you can see, I guess, Hangman doesn't like making heroes because they can be a little risky. So he is making more of a bigger army investment, and only then probably thinking of getting a hero. But it does look like he is sending his workers here to get an expansion, which of course can be quite good on huge maps like this, because enemies going to take quite a long time before they're ever going to enter your main base. Across the map, Hollow has some units spread out. Some swordsmen here. Let's make, yes, maybe already making some ballistas. which were, I guess, buffed in Classic Plus. But I didn't really get to see their stats much. So I don't know exactly how more powerful they are here. And of course it is turned on for Goblin Waves as a script. So both players can get some extra gold. You can see here, I was even making a second smithy to try and have, I guess, double Ballista production or double cannon production, but I think Ballistas cost maybe 100 or 200 more gold, so it's going to be very difficult to even spam them out of a single smithy, but getting a second smithy with only one base resource gathering, it's going to be very difficult to actually keep producing out of both smithies. So I guess this is maybe some kind of all-in or rush that Hull is thinking of doing a very powerful push for Ballistas. So it does a smaller army than Mr. Hangman here. There's a similar amount of swordsmen, but he has quite a good amount of archers as well. So I guess he was getting the map control somewhat, getting the middle, being a little more aggressive on the map. In the meantime, in his base, he's getting a smithy. Still no hero. Has his expansion, but very few workers being produced here. Oh, I guess because he did realize he needs a tier 2. Because the worker cap is at 40, so it does feel bad. Because this happened to me quite a few times, to myself as well. We kind of forgot to get a tier 2. This is kind of similar to getting a supply cap in StarCraft 2 or Warcraft 3. And so you're kind of locked away. You can't really make any more workers in the meantime.
Our forces are under attack.
Oh, over here you can see purple actually entered Hollow's base. So this could be some kind of base trade scenario, because Hollow has most of his army. Could easily run into his enemy's base here and try and break some things, kill some workers, or just even run into this expansion. But I guess Hangman does decide to retreat after seeing a cannon here.
Our forces are under attack.
By somewhat late with running back to his main base. So Hollow could have potentially actually went on top here and killed quite a few units, but he does arrive at Hangman's base quite late, so he does eventually decide to retreat instead of trying to trade his swordsman for some worker kills. Here you can see 1,000 health on his troll. So normally 5 swordsmen could easily take him down, but you can need quite a lot of micro to actually kill him now, or have maybe 6 or 7 swordsmen. Now over here, Hollow's army gets found, but I guess he does somehow get or he chooses the right path out of this part of the map, so he loses only a single swordsman here. Anyways, we're here. You can see Mr. Hangman has a second barracks, so he's going to be spamming out quite a lot of units. See how there's sawmill, so he can potentially get a archer damage. There's a lot of workers. While in the meantime, Hollow is bringing up his huge army of ballistas. This may be 1,500 gold worth army here of ballistas. So we're gonna see how good they can be. But I guess they do have a similar health to a cannon. Well, I guess cannons have. Oh. I guess cannons can level up, so. We have 280 health at level 3. So I guess I assume ballistas can also level up. But I guess we'll see about that. I can see here, they can be somewhat effective at just deleting the little packs of archers in the back. But after that, it becomes somewhat difficult to actually fight. Why did I even realize purple had a hero here? And kind of got focus. Here you can see Cyan was doing quite a lot of damage here, but somehow he's not really winning here that well. Because he probably needed a whole lot more swordsmen. And so this was more of a pyrrhic victory, you could say. Losing quite a lot and being left with very little. In comparison, Hangman already had an expansion for quite some time. Even has a second barracks, making a third barracks. Valhalla only has a second barracks. He has 2 smithies. So he's going all in on this Ballista gameplay. Interestingly, he does make a base in the front here. It's relatively new, only 9 workers. And Hangman has 14. Interestingly here, Hangman does throw away even more of his units here. So this was a bit of a mistake. Should have actually just tried to get a bigger and bigger army. And pick his battles a little better, I guess. Anyways, you can see even more ballistas are coming. But there are no upgrades for them, so we don't really get any stronger, I guess. So maybe ballistas don't level up. Or maybe we're gonna see it when they're gonna unload. Here you can see purple actually has a huge amount of swordsmen, making even more. And of course this is his side of a map, so his reinforcements are going to be here quite faster. He just surrounds the enemy. The ballistas get here a little late, so he does lose quite a few swordsmen already by the time that ballistas become operational. But over here you can see ballistas can be somewhat good at sniping certain units, but I guess they just struggle against mass swordsmen, and so eventually, with no more units to tank in a front line, you're going to be kind of getting overwhelmed here. So this was quite close. But Hangman just had a few more swordsmen. They are just taking forever to die, so maybe, I guess, hollow and quite a lot of gold, so maybe if he invested into a handful of potion crates to allow his swordsmen to survive for longer, then his push could have been a bit stronger. Because I think also the potion crate got changed, and so now the difference in classic, 10 potions cost 200 gold and 50 wood. But in this classic plus mode, roughly 10 potions cost about 140 gold, but they cost double the wood, so 100 wood for the same 10 potions. So you don't need as much gold to get a same amount of potions, but you do need a whole lot more wood. Over here, goblins get taken care of. And Hangman also takes care of his goblins, only losing 2 swordsmen here. And he's even beginning some dwarf production. Double Terran production even. So this can be quite powerful, because dwarves, you have like double the health or triple of an archer. And so they're more cost effective with production time, because they produce slightly, I guess, similar to a cavalier amount of time to produce one, so they're going to be quite stronger than archers. And I guess Hangman was making a lot of swordsmen, and they were working out for him, so that is what he focused on, just making a lot of swordsmen. He's even thinking of attacking into here. There's quite a lot of ballistas here, even a few cannons, so it doesn't look like the best fight to take, but he takes it anyways. And of course, after seeing these cannons on top here, he just decide to retreat. Here you can see the cannons are quite more powerful in their damage, but their shots are a whole lot more narrow and more single target, I guess, focused. Hollow still has no potions, but I guess Hangman also has no potions, so that is a, I guess, small mistake that you can change relatively easily to improve your, I guess, gameplay, or improve your army's survivability a bit more. But yes, it is more important on bigger maps, where it's going to be very hard to reinforce your, I guess, your push or your forces in the front line. Since you want to let them survive a bit longer, compared to a smaller map where just pure spam can be the actual advantage. Anyways, over here, Hangman is thinking of attacking. So he made a 4th base. It's basically 3 base mining, because his main base ran out. And over here, Sign tries to push into here. Doesn't really achieve much. Now he's losing a few more units. I guess Hollow's trying to do some kind of flank and have some kind of, I guess, Ballista front line here. But as we saw before, they are quite weak without any supporting meat shields or swordsmen in the front, so we're going to see how well this is going to play out. Hollow has 3 barracks, 2 smithies, and I guess that's, or I guess, a 4th barracks. And Hangman has 3 barracks and a 4th one, but he has 2 taverns and a smithy, so he does have a bigger blob of units. There's, yes, a whole lot more bodies with a whole lot more health. So he just has a health advantage here overall. So Hollow's going to have a very difficult time with actually killing any of these units. But of course, especially with that shielded swordsmen. But I guess it does look like we don't actually deflect anything. So it's more of just swordsmen having way too much health for ballistas to even do anything. So ballistas are, I guess you could say, a bit of a useless unit, or just they're not strong enough at this point for you to invest into them. Maybe we should just do 20 more damage, I guess. I'm not really sure how to actually buff them. In the meantime, I'll try to kill some workers here. I guess he does kill quite a few. But the reinforcements of the purple player are going to be hunting him down. And so this is eventually going to be just too much army for Hollow to fight against. So there's just a few cavaliers left. Not much else. I guess this huge army of dwarves. A lot of cavaliers. And dwarves, of course, are especially a very annoying unit to fight against, because they just take forever to die. So you're gonna need a lot of, I guess, swordsmen or other male units to even have a chance against dwarves. Because mass archers can be a little difficult to fight against them. Because we just have way less health. Nonetheless, Hangman does make a big push against Hollow here. It's pretty much his final stand against big, I guess, spam. Mr. Hangman here. And so there you have it. It was a somewhat close game where Hollow was almost able to beat Hangman, but his swordsman just didn't get to survive long enough to actually allow his ballistas to do some work. So probably for next time he's gonna need all the potions to maybe make that build more viable, I guess, for that all in. But I guess that's just, it is what it is, and the ballistas are still quite weak. Let's see results. You can see here, Hangman got about, I guess, 13,000 more gold. Which is quite a lot, because he did get his expansion quite faster. And he did get his 4th base. So here you can see, got a lot of wood, made a huge amount of units, even 85 more units. So here you can see the actual kills were pretty close, I would say, compared to the units built. So it was somewhat of a close match, but ballistas alone just can't really, I guess, carry. But we did see that we did take care of mass archer armies, so maybe it can work against some human players. Anyways, if you liked the video, you can leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to see more videos on the Scouring Early Access, then you can subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.